Hi, welcome to Marsha's Plate. This is going to be a short episode because sometimes I'll be thinking stuff and want to get it out, and it'd be in the moment, and by the time we record, it'd be like, girl, I don't feel like talking about that no more. But I want to talk about it now. So, yeah. Today we're going to dive into a topic that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But we need to talk about it. I see that it's come back around, that people are talking about how it's biphobic and homophobic when people have preferences not to date bisexual men. And when I say people, I mean black women. Not that they're the only ones, but, I'm somebody who is in the culture of black folks, so I hear that conversation happening against them. And so I want to talk about it. And I want to start off by saying your sex life and your dating life are not a democracy. You don't owe nobody access to your body, your intimacy, or your romantic time. Period. You are the dictator of your cootie cat and your booty hole and whatever else you're giving up. You are the dictator, and it's okay to be a dictator. That's what consent and agency over one's body is about. But here is the flip side. We have to be real enough to admit that the things that turn us on, that gets our juices flowing, the types that we prefer and that we are attracted to, when I like them tall, dark, and handsome, or I like them a little thick and with a big booty and pretty eyes, light skinned, and all this kind of stuff. All those preferences and the boundaries we set don't exist in a vacuum, babe. They are shaped by the very systems that we are out here trying to dismantle. Now, desires are learned, not just hardwired. It's not just automatically. The media, racism, anti blackness, fat phobia, sexism, ageism, transphobia, all that shit shapes the society we live in. And all that shit deems, certain things as more desirable as other things. And we are impacted by that stuff, from imaging that we get when we are a kid to, the behaviors of people around us. All that affects what information that we have about certain people. All that affects what we think is our type, what we like, what we're turned on by. And that is also fluid. That could change. One time you could be like, ooh, I don't like fat people. I don't like fat, no fat, no fat, no fat, no fat, no fat. When you were fucking 10, 12, 19, 23, and then, honey, at 26, you meet some sexy ass fat nigga that got a big old dick, he clean, he smell good, and you give him a chance and he blow your motherfucking mind by sucking your pussy from the back, make you come multiple times, dicking you down, and oh my God, I like fat niggas. Damn! That's sometimes how it happens. That's sometimes how it works. Oh my God, I didn't think I liked that. Or if you're a man and you talk about, oh, I don't like trans this and I don't like trans and none of I want a natural born woman with a natural born vagina and blah, 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 blah. Then you go to the mall and meet this dime ass motherfucking trans woman that look like whatever your type is. If your type is thick, she thick. If your type is dark skinned, she dark skinned. What if your type got a pretty smile? She is soft voice. She got all of that. Whatever your type is, she has it. And you think, damn, I didn't know that they made them in this motherfucking brand. I usually can be able to tell, but you, god damn, ain't no reason you should be this motherfucking fine. And she get to talking to you, get to enchanting you, get to working her set, and you just say, fuck it. Whatever you got going on, let's make it happen. In this spur of the moment decision, now all of a sudden, you like trans women. It's happened to me before. I've been that trans woman to many of men. But at the end of the day, it's totally fair to admit that your type that you had since high school might be heavily influenced by the systems of white supremacy, systems of patriarchal beauty standards. Admitting that isn't a crime. So if you don't want to deal with bisexual men, that's okay for you to say that. But it's also okay to admit that that's rooted in your fears about STIs. It's rooted in fears about inadequacy, about competition. Like, damn, if you like men, I ain't got no motherfucking dick. I mean, at least with a woman, I can be like, damn, my pussy is fire, my pussy is this, and she got a pussy, mine is better than hers. It can be some kind of competition that I can have, but I can't compete with a motherfucker with a dick if I ain't got no dick. That's insecurities, baby. And it's okay that those reasonings, it's okay to admit that. It's not a crime. That is basic self-awareness. But we also need to know that those are rooted in some homophobia. It is rooted in biphobia. It is rooted in everything, every excuse that you can give is rooted in your systems of belief that are impacted by those systems. Pointing out that a reference comes from a systematic root does not mean that you're obligated to date or sleep with anyone to prove you're progressive. You don't need to have sex with anybody that are outside of your preferences. You don't need to do it at all. Nobody gets to pull any kind of guilt trip on you or policy enforcement because your motherfucking sex life is not a job. It's not the United States of America. It's not a fucking democracy. You make the fucking rules. That is your intimate life. And those rules, they don't need to be reasonable or motherfucking fair. But we can hold two truths at once. Desire didn't form in a vacuum. Societal conditioning, media, systematic biases are inevitable and they shape what people find attractive. Acknowledging that connection is just honest self-awareness, not a moral failure. You can hold yourself accountable to critical self-reflection without sacrificing bodily autonomy and feeling forced into performative action. If you don't want to fuck a bi nigga, you ain't gotta fuck a bi nigga. Not at all. But in the same breath of that no thank you, bi man, you can say, my preferences might be rooted in some bullshit and some mess. I still get to decide who gets to touch me without any motherfucking explanation. You're not harming anyone by maintaining your boundaries, but you are harming, and being kind of hypocritical, you are harming your own growth if you're pretending that your taste just fell from the sky and were completely untainted by all the stuff that I named earlier, media, fears of shit, and blah, 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 blah. If you want us to believe that none of that shit is involved in your decision of what your type is, bitch, what I look like? Boo-boo the fool? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, right. It's okay to admit that. Just as much as it's okay for you to still not fuck with who you don't want to fuck with. Aren't that how we expect other people who have things rooted that comes against us, opinions and beliefs and all that kind of stuff? We want them to dismantle them and know that those things are rooted in problematic systems. How I see y'all responding reminds me of when we call, some liberal white woman or white man out on their racist behavior, how they respond, where they're more dedicated in rejecting the label of racist instead of being dedicated to understanding the conditioning that created the behavior. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you not examining that? Not wanting to accept that, to me, makes you more racist. In the same way that not wanting to accept that some of your preferences around dating and men are rooted in homophobia. Are you want to act like you not impacted by the homophobia that we all grew up to know and love? And it's hypocritical for us not to have that kind of self-awareness and self-reflection when those same types of systems affect us too. So, at the end of the day, critical self-awareness isn't about self-logging and letting people cross your boundaries. It's about, honesty, being real with ourselves. Own your choice. Set up your rules. Nobody gets to vote in your bedroom, honey. You are the only vote. Just don't confuse your personal comfort with absolute immunity from the culture that raised you. And don't let these holier than thou, I'm more woker than you, I'm more progressive than you motherfuckers make you think that they're not dismantling their shit too. We all are. We all have been wallowing in the motherfucking swamp of these systems, and we all ain't clean. And so, because of that, we have to be diligent in how we reflect on our taste, on everything. That's everything. That's just what we got to do. Don't feel guilty about it, but acknowledge it. That's your self work. That's what we all got to do, babe. We can't just expect it from people outside of us that's oppressing us. We got to do it within ourselves too, so that we, guess what, are not oppressing other people. Yeah. And that don't mean you need to fuck them, but at least acknowledge it. So let me start. Hi, my name is Diamond Stylz, and I don't date bi niggas because I be scared sometimes, and I'm insecure about my womanhood because all that kind of stuff, and I want to make sure that you're choosing me because I'm a woman and not because you think I'm a man, and I that may be rooted in some homophobia, yeah. And I don't think that's gonna change. But I promise you I'm not gonna discriminate against you at work. I promise you I'm not gonna stop you from getting a bag or tell people your business or do any other kind of or call you any kind of names or slurs and not try to fight for your rights. But I can admit that that is rooted in some biphobia and homophobia. Yes. All right.